Did you know that nearly 100,000 Montgomery County students ride school buses? It's our duty as a community to make sure they are safe and secure. But some motorists are not aware of the laws that surround school bus activity. Do you have to stop for a school bus when there's a median strip in the road? Are children expected to cross in front or in back of the bus? And what's the story with the new automated bus cameras, which can identify drivers who break the law?
Well, the school bus industry is one that just is all about the safety of students. I mean, the vehicles are designed to the highest standards of safety. The operational practices we use are all about safety. We design bus stops, their locations for what's the safest for students. It's just all about safety. We transport about 100,000 students every day. And we travel lots of miles also. Our buses travel just over 100,000 miles a day, which is equivalent to 4 times around the equator. So it's a lot of miles traveled every day. The greatest danger is when kids getting on and off school buses. One of the pieces of that is crossing the road. So in this industry as a whole, it's a nationwide problem of people passing the stopped school bus. Okay, and so we've tried all kinds of things. There are special grants that go out to police agencies for overtime enforcement. We try to make sure that we put stops in places to minimize the risk, but the reality is that people still pass stopped school buses. So we've been excited about the introduction of this new technology, the automated enforcement camera.
Over the years, we've worked with the school board doing traditional enforcement, which is pretty complicated and not always the most efficient. But a couple years ago, we got the authority to mount school bus safety cameras on these school buses. And so we're working with school boards to automate that enforcement process and hopefully keep our kids safe. In January of 2014, we installed 25 cameras on our school buses. And we have the ability to move them to approximately 100 school buses throughout the system.
The point here is to deter this dangerous behavior from continuing through having cameras on buses so that people who are committing this very dangerous act, and all too often it is happening, know that there's a very good chance that if they do it again, they're going to be on camera and get caught.
When we activate the stop sign, it's they're proceeding on. Some stop and then go. Some just continue to go. If it's that's a 4-lane highway, if you don't have no divider, meaning even trees, concrete, medium, or anything, they just go on through. And also, if we have a turn lane, we got 4-lane highway with a turn lane. Most of the time, they just proceed on through. They don't stop. So these cameras are definitely going to help us.
When you talk about approaching a school bus, remember safety is the most important concern. Under Maryland law, it's easy to remember if you think about this phrase: paint doesn't protect. So if you're driving down the road and the only thing between you and a school bus is paint on the ground, then you must stop. If there's a raised median or a safety zone between you and the school bus, under Maryland law, you don't have to stop. If you're on the same side of the bus, you must stop. And you must stop at least 20 feet behind the bus and never pass the school bus.
We work with Xerox Corporation, and they use a series of still images that they put together into a video. Whenever the bus stops and the stop arm comes out, the camera goes into what's called enforcement mode. And then in the frames of those cameras are certain areas, and if there's enough pixel disruption, okay, enough movement that the camera detects, it puts together a series of still pictures and sends them off wirelessly back to Xerox, that then analyzes that to see if it really was a true violation. If it was, they package it together in an enforcement package that has still pictures of the license plate, it shows the car going past the bus, it shows the stop arm out with the lights flashing, it sends that off to the police, and then someone that works for the police also has to make sure it's a true violation before then Xerox sends out the citation.
Under Maryland law, if a police officer observes you passing a stopped school bus, they'll pull you over, they'll write you a ticket for $570, and it carries 3 points on your driver's license. If you pass a school bus that's protected by one of our automated cameras, you'll receive a $125 violation in the mail, but it carries no points. You can go to court and explain to the judge, but the judge has the opportunity of raising that fine up to $250, which is the maximum under Maryland law.
We are issuing tickets. People are paying the fines on tickets, although money is not our interest here. In fact, the school system is getting no money out of this deal. The money is going back to help pay for the program and keep it going. But Montgomery County expects this program not to make money. In fact, we expect it to cost us money, and we were willing to make that investment for the interest of student safety. So we've targeted 25 buses where we have the highest reported problems. We're already having some impact, I hope, over the 6 months now. And so we will be looking to move those cameras as the as the numbers on those routes go down. There's 3 reasons why we think people pass school buses. One is that people are in a hurry these days and they're always busy, and some people make, I think, a conscious choice to take that risk and go by figuring nothing bad's really going to happen to them. We also think that there are ones who, possibly some out there who don't know what they're supposed to do. And then the other big issue these days is distracted driving.
In this time of day, people are texting, calling, doing makeup, etc. So nothing surprises me.
If everybody always stopped for a school bus and we never issued a ticket, that would be fine by us. But the bottom line is, too many people continue to pass these school buses, so the need for the cameras are in great demand.
We got to be proactive and keep coming up with innovative ideas, and this is one of them. And this will wake them up for the sake of the children. So it's a good thing.
Students, parents, and caregivers can be proactive regarding safety as well.
The first part is about walking to the bus stop or walking to school, whichever they happen to be doing. So they have to practice good safety practices. And typically kids do that when they're by themselves or maybe 1 or 2, but when they get in a pack of 8, 10, 12 kids, there tends to be some goofing around and things like that. They have to take it very seriously because they're interacting with vehicles, and if they get into a conflict with a vehicle, they're going to lose. So walking to school is they need to make sure they look both ways before they cross the street. They need to use pedestrian signals and wait till the sign says walk before they walk, and then still check to make sure nobody's running through the red light. They need to pick safe ways to walk. Sometimes the most direct route to the bus stop or to the school is not necessarily the safest. So they should work with their parents to figure out what's the safest way they can get there and then take that every day. Then while they're waiting for the bus stop, many times, buses stop along fairly major roads to pick up students. Well, when that happens, we would prefer that they not wait right on the edge of the road, okay? Wait back, 15 or 20 or 30 feet. There's no reason they can't do that, and then as the bus comes, move up to where the traffic is. So inside the bus, buses have what's called compartmentalization. It's a passive restraint system. So I don't know if you've been in a school bus in a while, but there's no seatbelts in school buses in Maryland. And that's because there's a passive restraint system called compartmentalization, where all the kids need to do is be in their seat, and they have padding all around them. There's a high back padded seat in front of them in case the bus is in a collision, and their body would go up against this nice padded barrier that would spread out the crash forces across their body. But the key to it is to be in their seat. So the safest thing they can do on a school bus is get in their seat and stay in their seat, sit it on their rear end, not up on their knees or standing or moving around from seat to seat. Okay, so that's all they really have to do to keep themselves safe inside the bus, is get themselves in a seat and stay there. We want to tell the drivers, well, whenever you see a school bus stop, you should expect a student to be running across the road. And I understand people are in a hurry, they have places to go. I don't like being behind school buses myself, and I'm the transportation director. But student safety is involved here, and we all know students do unpredictable things, right? And so they're not always going to stop at the edge of the bus and look both ways. So we as adults and other motorists, we have to take their safety into our hands. So anytime you see a stopped school bus, stop.
So let's review the law regarding stopping for a school bus. To begin, you'll see flashing red lights and a raised arm stop sign that indicates the bus is stopping or has stopped. On a 2-lane roadway, all traffic from both directions must stop when a school bus stops for passengers. 2-lane roadways with a center turning lane require the same action. Everybody must stop. 4-lane roadways that have no median strip also require all traffic from both directions to stop. And finally, on a divided highway of 4 lanes or more with a median separation, only traffic following the bus must stop. Police recommend stopping 20 feet from the bus. Students are instructed to cross in front of the bus. Before proceeding, wait until the raised arm stop sign retracts and lights stop flashing. And remember, children can be unpredictable when getting on and off school buses. If a police officer sees you pass a stopped school bus with flashing lights, the fine is $570 and 3 points on your license. If an automated school bus camera records the action, the fine is $125. There are no points associated with an automated citation. The goal is to keep our children safe.